Useful videos family, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I upload a new buyer's guide or repair guide. Thank you so much and enjoy this video. If you've gone to start your Forester and noticed that the low washer fluid light was illuminated, you probably added fluid to the reservoir. If, after adding the fluid, the light is still illuminated, there's a very high chance the sensor in the reservoir has gone bad. In this video, we'll be replacing the windshield washer fluid reservoir. Since the sensor isn't a replaceable item, we need to replace the complete reservoir. The part number for most 2014 through 2018 Foresters is 86631SG020. This part number includes the windshield washer reservoir and the fluid level sensor. Please check out my video on how to remove the Subaru Forester front bumper to gain access to the windshield washer reservoir. Looking at this reservoir, you can clearly see that the fluid level is not low. During my inspection, I noticed one fluid line had been compromised, and when the windshield fluid pumps would run, the line would waste a lot of fluid. The resulting spray coming out of the nozzles onto the windshield was not strong as well. The Forester uses Mitsuba EW08 windshield fluid pumps. There's two of them. One's marked with a K and one is marked with a G. Whenever the windshield washer pumps were used on this Forester, there would be a great loss of the fluid. To ensure that this was due to that compromised line, I tested the system and did find that a lot of the fluid was leaking out through that hose. The windshield washer reservoir is held on by 2 bolts, 1 nut, and 2 plastic clips. All of them are easy to get to except for the last bolt, which is hidden in the back right. Gently prying the wheel liner a little bit will give you better access to the bolt. Both of the bolts and the nut are a 10mm size, with the bolts having an indent for a Phillips head screwdriver. The fluid filler neck is held on by a plastic Phillips head clip that can be removed by turning the screw counterclockwise and pulling it out. The final clip is on the side of the reservoir. It's used to hold the wires close to the body of the reservoir. To remove the bolts and the nut, I used a 10mm socket, a socket extension, and a power drill. The fluid level sensor connector is on the bottom of the reservoir and has a push tab release. Depress the tab and push out to remove this connector. Once that's completed, you can start to remove the pumps. Position the reservoir so that you have a good angle to work with and apply pressure to pull out the pumps. They are held in by rubber grommets, and a little bit of pressure and force is all it takes to remove them. After I removed both of the pumps, I decided to replace the damaged section of windshield washer hose. I went to the local auto parts store and purchased Prestone's washer hose vacuum tubing that I cut to the correct size. Behind the front fender, the hose was connected to another hose via an irrigation line. I simply pulled out the old hose and installed the new hose in its place. Next, I got the new reservoir situated and used the top plastic clip to hold it in place. I then reinstalled the pump rubber holders and both of the pumps. I affixed the plastic clip that holds the wires close to the reservoir, and I also made sure that the windshield hoses were affixed to their holders. I then reinstalled the bolts and the nut, and also ensured that everything was lined up correctly and was tight. I then got a new bottle of windshield washer fluid and poured the new fluid into the reservoir at a slow rate so that I could ensure that there was no leaks. After ensuring there was no leaks, I turned the vehicle on to the second ignition position to ensure that the warning light was no longer illuminated, and it was not, so that was good. I then later tried the windshield washer fluid pumps to see how they're working. The spray pattern was a lot more even and powerful, so it all went well. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you for the next video.